and welcome to the Sunbirdcrochet podcast. My name is Claudia and I'm coming to you from Germany. Today I have for you one finished object and one work in progress. The others are still lingering in the background, but there's one project which has gotten lots of love. But one thing after another. Let's start with my finished object. And you can guess, can't you? Yes, it's a pink panther. Here he is. Yes, this is a collaboration. I've made Pink Panther and my mother made him a bag to live in, to be gifted in. So now I've already made a little video about him being finished. I've uploaded it and you've probably seen it already. He is quite an achievement. It was difficult to give him the likeness of a cat and that he doesn't look like a pig or a teddy bear. And I think I've succeeded in that. The only thing which I don't like is that the eyes are a little bit not at the same place in his face. I thought I had managed to do it nicely, but quite frankly, I'm not going to change that anymore. He's finished as he is, and he has a lovely little smile down here. And I'm just happy with it. Maybe I should have fixed his head a little bit. If this would be for an adult, then I would have fixed it, put a stick in there or something. But this is for a newborn baby and later a toddler, and I don't want him to get anything sharp or spiky, which might be a problem when he tries to put it in his mouth or something. What can I tell you about Panther? I first worked the body and I put the little music box in here, and then I made two long tubes. The toes here I've made with little puff stitches. Same here. I wrote it down so that I could reproduce the one leg again. He has little pads on the feet and basically the same recipe for the arms, except less stitches and just one puff stitch for the thumb, and then again for the pads for the hand. I would have, if I would make this in large, I would give him the whole cat family kind of paw, but I think this is enough. I gave him a belly, like a light belly. I made a patch and I sewed it on, and two ears, which I put quite further back so that it doesn't look like a mouse. And the eyes, I've made them. Usually I would use safety eyes, but this again is for a toddler, or rather a baby and later a toddler. You never know what they're going to do with it. So this is a puff stitch. No, it's not. This is a popcorn stitch here, a tiny one, into the center of a small yellow circle. And then I picked up stitches, increased the stitches around here, and then decreased again so that it's like a little half cup. And I sewed it onto the face. And I did the same on this side. You decide which face side you like best. I think here he is a little bit grumpy, and here he has raised one eyebrow. I've made the little whiskers by pushing or taking a needle, putting the yarn through and then tying a knot and then when I had done this a couple of times, I cut the ends off to a shorter version. And this might look a little bit messy. Maybe a different kind would be better, but it's fine. It's good enough. I've added a little bow tie so that the head would actually be a little bit less wobbly. He still is, but yeah, it's good. So this is the Pink Panther being finished. He does sit upright, and yeah, I think it's a good job, more or less. So that's my finished object. Let's move on to work in progress. Work. Let me talk about my Moth Lantern sweater, which is a crochet pattern in the Moth magazine, which came out this fall winter season. I've printed the pattern, even though I do have the magazine physically, not just digitally. The designer is Simone Francis, and she used the yarn Iona wool, and it's an Aran weight yarn, 100% single origin wool, 160 meters per 100 gram. That's 170 yards per 100 gram. And her colorway is basalt, and she's using a 5mm hook size, and for some parts you need a 5.5mm. What I'm using is it's Seemann Julia yarn for €2.49. This dark green is color 52, and it's 170 meter per 100 gram, which is just a tiny little bit lighter than Aran wool. And this is 80% acrylic and 20% wool. I've used this yarn base for in pink and in beige and in gray for several projects before, because even though this is mostly acrylic yarn and therefore affordable yarn, it also has a woolly feeling, and it's very easy and nice to work with. So I highly recommend this yarn, both for knitting and for crochet, if you have an Aran weight project in mind and a tight budget. I bought this because I wanted to make another ranunculus, but this turned out to be perfect for my Moth Lantern project. And I have already split for the sleeves. This is my progress so far. Shall I put it on? Wait a second. Now bear in mind that I put this over my already warm sweater. This is really warm, but it has a lovely fit. It's actually going down over the shoulders a little bit, so it's shaped. And the increases are perfect. I'm making size 6 and I'm using a 5mm hook. The instructions are very clear. There is a chart as well, so if you feel lost, then you can use the chart. And this will be obviously a bulky winter sweater. And I'm making mine with a little bit of ease, because rather than having a bulky sweater tied to my body, to my bulky body, I prefer an oversized bulky sweater, which I can wear in winter when I'm feeling cold and I just want to lounge around in the sitting room or whatever, and then this is going to be cozy. I still have to make a neckline, so don't worry that this looks rather a little bit rough, But yeah, I'm really happy with this overlay crochet, or whatever you want to call this technique. I would call it overlay crochet or cabling. So this is really lovely, and I highly recommend this pattern. It's Moth Lantern, because you see there are these moths all in the lanterns individually. And down here it stops, and it's just, I mean, perfect. Let me just keep it on while we're talking. So I'm very happy with this project. It just looks gigantic on me. Let me get up, and then you can see it as it does look. So there you go. It's not as bad. I'm not like a train. It's quite nice. And also this will be pulled in a little when I start the sleeves. There you go. What else can I say? Not much. I think I will keep the rest for when it's a finished object, which is not that far away. The wool makes it very light. I just love to work with this wool. Yeah, I highly recommend this. I must admit that I have only limited time today to talk to you. In about 40 minutes time, I'm going to go to the local craft market. It's twice a year, around springtime for Easter and around November for Christmas. So this is the Christmas one, and I've already got my Advent wreath, but you never know what other people are making and what inspires you, so I might take you along, I'm not sure. It always feels a little bit awkward to film on a craft market because people don't want to be filmed, and maybe some are a little bit testily about their products and their designs being filmed. So usually in a shop or so I would ask, is it okay if I do some filming here for my podcast? But I'm not going to walk around in a big crowd asking everyone. It's impossible. So we will see. Maybe some footage. Maybe I will just show you at the end of this video if I've bought something from there. But let's move on to incoming. Well, first of all, I've bought not only the musical box for the Pink Panther, but 2 more, because I've got plans. So one is this melody, which you might recognize. Game of Thrones. You can get it here on this website, or this company, spieluhr.de. And the other one is this one here. I just loved it. This song is called Noir, French for black, and it's quite sentimental. So now I have to find something like, I think this would be perfect for a spider, like the beautiful one from La Lila La. La Lila Land? La Lila. Something dark but beautiful. So if you have suggestions, then please do tell. Same goes for the Game of Thrones. Would you believe it? I've never actually watched Game of Thrones, but I loved the music. What else came in? Well, the shawl I was wearing just now is new. This is a sample from a Canadian designer. I will put her name up here. And I don't know what came over me. These days, I am a knitting sample collector, just as much as I'm actually a crocheter. So it's just lovely. The different textures are really beautiful. Even here on this colorful section, it has different, I don't know if you can see it, but it has different textures. So that it looks like an arrow. Don't know if you can see it. Oh well, you have to believe me. I just love this. And to be honest, I love the look of this more than the Go-Go Dynamo shawl. I still haven't started this one. Yeah. I don't know if I will. Which reminds me, I've actually got another work in progress. But I will show it to you next time, because I've started something new. Now, just a few more things incoming before I have to say goodbye to you and rush off to the craft market. I've been buying fabric again. So this is Christmas fabric, maybe for a Christmas bag, project bag. It's all these snow globes with whimsy animals, trees and towns in it. I really liked it. Especially here, this one, that actually looks like a sweater design. And here as well. Beautiful. And then she also was selling, or maybe I should tell you the name of this seller. It's Ruth Baudisch Quilt Shop. And she is based in Quickborn in Germany. And that's her website down here. I hope this is going to focus. There you go. And she's designing her own quilt panels. You know, when you have a quilting blanket or something, you have a center panel, which you then can quilt. And I've bought this one here. I've bought 2 of those. This is like a wintry motif, but I've also bought something more whimsical. And then I've also bought 2 panels with a nutcracker, also in blue colors, which I don't have here right now because there's something in the making. And also a Santa in his sleigh kind of motif. And this will become probably placemats for Christmas. So yeah, I really liked her color choices and her creativity. And last but not least, I've been visiting relatives recently. I don't know if I actually told you. My godfather was taking us with him and we visited the relatives. And I was there at a recycling place. yes, they do recycle the rubbish, but they also take whatever people don't want anymore, and they are selling it like a second-hand place, a shop. And I got 2 books from there. One I gifted already, and the other one is this little, or it says the big Christmas and New Year booklet. It cost me a whopping 49 cents. So it has here a little bit about traditions, then stories and songs, lots of songs which I know from my childhood. I don't know about you, but we always sing songs under the Christmas tree, so to say. It's a tradition in our family, and I believe we're not the only ones. My grandfather always used to do the second voice, the accompanying voice, a singing voice, and I must say that I'm missing that. My father never sang with us. He always stuffed his face with cookies instead and asked, "Are you ready already? Are you finished now? Can we start with the food? I'm hungry." Yeah, but we're both not with us anymore, and life is changing. Christmas is still lovely, but it will be different because we haven't been happy last year around the same time. Anyhow, back to the book. It also has recipes for cookies, and it has complete menu suggestions for Christmas and the New Year. And it also has wonderful illustrations. Do you know where the Advent calendar comes from? What's that tradition about? And all these things. And why do we actually put up a Christmas tree? And what's the story about the Advent wreath? And who comes to you for Christmas? In Germany, it's das Christkind, the Holy Child, which is often depicted as a female angel for some reason. And in America, it's Santa Claus, right? And in Italy, it's Befana, the witch. She only comes on the 6th of January, though, so they are celebrating differently. And then I'm curious who comes to you for Christmas, or, well, if you're not celebrating Christmas, then what are your main celebrations? Yeah, lots of songs. I think the 49 cents were very well invested. But I was going to share with you the menu for Christmas, which they are suggesting. It's Kürbismöhrensüppchen, followed by Knuspergans, and then Lebkuchen Birnenstrudel. Translated, it's a pumpkin carrot soup. Then the main course is goose. And then for dessert, it's Lebkuchen per Strudel. Sounds yummy. For New Year, they are suggesting a baked goat cheese for starters, then a traditional New Year carp, that's a fish, and then Schneeklößchen in Himbeersoße, snow dumplings in raspberry sauce. And since I don't eat fish, this would be a punishment for me. And actually, there's a story. At the beginning of my parents' marriage, my mother wanted to do a wonderful Christmas dinner, and my father brought home a carp fish, which was still alive, and they put it into their bathtub so that it would be fresh on the day of its demise. And putting it, well, you know, slaughtering the poor fish was such an awful mess that my mother refused to actually prepare the fish. And then my aunt was there for a visit, and she jumped in and prepared the fish. A special recipe, I believe, where you use vinegar so that the skin of a fish becomes blue, and that's a specialty somewhere, I don't know where. And she did it all by the cookbook because she didn't know what she was doing. She was just following the cookbook. And in the end, we were all sitting around the table with that blue carp in the middle, and everyone wished that fish was still alive, and no one actually ate from it. So it's, yeah, one of these Christmas stories, right? Okay, I have to go now. I hope you still enjoyed this episode, even though it was rather short. And maybe you can think about your funny Christmas stories, or yeah, stories which are handed down from generations. I'm afraid I already have to finish my episode now because I have to get ready for going to the craft market. And I hope that you enjoyed your time with me here. I might add a little bit of footage at the end of this video. If not, and this is cut short, then I wish you a wonderful weekend and happy crafting time. I am writing some of my Christmas letters this weekend, so some of you might get a little surprise. And yeah, enjoy your time. Don't think too much about politics. I mean, it's difficult times, and there are difficult times ahead. But don't forget that this is your life, and you are responsible for your own well-being, and you have to look after yourself. And don't worry too much, because you have no control over other things. Rather, take care of what you have control over, if that makes sense. And if it's getting too much for you, then give yourself a time off from news and aggressive people and nations. And if you have the privilege to be able to, then take your time for yourself. Treat yourself nicely. Get your crafting time, and I hope that we will talk soon again. Keep well, keep safe. Bye.
Eddington Me. It's really good lighting here. I should sit here more often. Let me show you what we've got. We've got this piece of, well, it's a bucket with some flowers in there and some decorations for Christmas. I'm going to show you in a minute. This, by the way, is a Christmas cactus in bloom. You're leaning against it. What else? I've supported a crocheter by buying this little reindeer in crochet. She was using a Überraschungsei in the center. Let me open it for you. There you go. You know, one of these chocolate egg things, and so you can put something inside like money. But really, I thought it was very cute. She also had Santa Claus. Tiga is here as well. So she also had Santa Claus and other characters. That's a local crafter. Young girl. So I'm very pleased as well that the young are interested in crochet. Then we've got these mushrooms. They are felted, and in the center they actually have faces. Hallo, das ist Tiger. Tiger ist 20 Jahre alt. Tiger is 20 years old. He's a really senior cat, and he's not even our cat. But his family is working during the day, and that's when he's coming to us to sleep in front of the heater. Tiger? Ist das nicht so? Ja. So, we've got these. Was denkst du? Ungefährlich. No danger. So these are felted mushrooms. I can let them stand by each other's side. Tigi? Möchtest du wieder runter? And then we've got something here, which is a decoration for my door. It's a gnome. And I can switch on there's something to hang it on. And then I've got the light here. There you go. So it comes with Christmas lights. I don't know yet where exactly I will put it, but I'm sure I'm going to find some place. Tigi and I are going to get cozy, and I hope that you're going to be cozy as well this weekend. Getting some crochet time. Yes. Have a lovely day. Bye.